Good morning, guys. It's January 16, 2016, and it looks like my camera loves shutting me off just as I'm getting into really like important or in-depth conversations, and I'm really sorry about that. But I realized instead of kind of releasing this information in one big video, I think I'm just going to do them in little small series, such as like a 10-minute video, okay? So this one is going to be a form of a continuation of my double helix and things that I've had to really experience in that time frame of the whole attack that I went through. Okay, so, and I've been attacked by these religious fanatical people like all my life, but it wasn't until the last recent years where it really came and I was in one shot at the same time in a certain awareness that I was at, okay? So, I want to tell you a few things, okay? I met somebody in 2014 who kind of knew what I was going through, but he himself was somewhat possessed by these experiences, okay? So he was coming back and forth with trying to protect me and then kind of attacking me. It's really confusing when you have very traumatic energies around you and other people are trying to control certain circumstances, okay? These religious fanatical people, a lot of them don't know what they're doing, especially if they're doing things like the Kabbalah or doing verses in the Islamic Bibles or the Quran. And so this guy was a newly immigrant from Iraq. He was Chaldean, and according to the ancient scholars, according to the ancient belief system, according to a lot of Jews, the Chaldeans and the ancient Sumerians, Babylonians, those who inhabited and civilized Iraq were considered to be the Armenians, okay? A lot of Assyrians and Chaldeans that I've met my entire life, they've told me, oh, Talar, we're the original Armenians because we have that solid connection. Okay, and I highly suggest you just do your own research, guys. I really suggest whatever I tell you, just do your own research. So he told me when he was in Iraq that when he was a little boy, him and his father and his parents, they were brought up in a Muslim district. Okay, usually the Christians are separate, they live in a different street or a different area. However, he grew up in a Muslim area. So there was a family of Muslims that his family was pretty close to, and the wife and the brother of the husband came knocking on their door, so the Chaldeans' door. And I remember he was telling me he was a little boy at the time, and because we were talking about the Quran and some things of that nature, and he said to me how real this stuff is in the Quran. And he said, when I was little, I remember really, really well. And he said they found out that the husband's missing and then they need to know where he is. He hasn't showed up in like weeks, days on weeks and all that. So the wife was scared and wanted to know what happened to him. Is he killed? Has he been kidnapped? Where is he? Is he cheating on the wife? Has he found another, wife? What's going on? The brother and the wife, they went over there and they asked his parents, obviously the parents are Chaldean Christians, they said, please, brother, we need your help. According to the scriptures in Arabic, okay, which is very symbolic and very similar to the ancient old Hebrew Bible, okay? So when I say Christianity, the three trio Abrahamic faiths, Christianity, Islam, and the Hebrew Judaic Bibles are all one. If you watch my Metatron's Cube video of esoteric knowledge and physical experiences, I mention from what I experienced and what I've seen, excuse me, originally those three Bibles were one book, but separated for sacrifices and separated to separate the people and the cultures and create more dogma, or create more language barriers. Okay, so they did, I gotta say this really quick before the camera shuts off. I have like 5 minutes. They did a form of magic, okay? And he told me the entire Bible is considered to be magic. Oh, and he's not the only one. I met another Assyrian guy, half Assyrian, half Armenian, and he told me a lot of other stuff that's in there. And I mean, they speak Arabic. They were raised with Arabs. Those Mizrahi Jews, okay, they're from Syria, they're from Lebanon, they're from Iraq. They're raised with Arabs. They're basically, you know, they're well versed in this Arabic stuff. So yeah, and they said, you know what, we need your son, because according to the Arabic verses, there needs to be a Christian boy as a form of a sacrifice. Okay, so what they did was, in order to see where the husband is, so he told me, all I remember is I was a little boy. I was like 7 years old, and I had to get down on my knees. They took some sort of, they had to sacrifice an animal, because they didn't end up obviously sacrificing him, but they had to sacrifice an animal. And what they did is, when they sacrificed the animal, they put the blood on his forehead, because the forehead is the third eye, so it's opening. When they do sacrifices, whether it's people, humans, animals, whatever, they do the third eye, because the soul becomes an awakening for power, or an awakening, or a gateway to be able to see, okay, the truth, because Saturn shows the way. So, and then the parents are watching, and then the Muslim man was behind the child, and the father had to write everything down. Okay, so the father and the mother are facing the boy, and the Muslim wife is around the boy, and then the Muslim man is behind the boy, and he's chanting these ancient Arabic verses. And he told me they read in, like, you know, they read from right to left. And he said there's a secret code that they flipped something around, and whether it was the book and they read it the opposite way, or he said there's some sort of secret in these Bibles that not many people know about. So what he said is, all of a sudden, I will never forget, he goes, it was a form of possession, because that was not me. I don't know what that was. He said, I was little. All of a sudden, I could start seeing where this man is. He said he was tied up. He was in this cellar, and he can hear what was going on. He can hear people hitting him. He can see a group of men attacking him. And he said, it was all coming out of my mouth. He said, I started saying the words of what was happening, where he was, literally as if the event that took place was happening right there, and it was all coming out of the boy's mouth. Okay, and everything was being written down. They took he even asked, they asked the boy, make sure you ask where he is, the location, get the location. And the boy was listening. He was in a trance, and I remember him telling me everything. He was in a trance, and they wrote down the location, and they wrote everything down, and they cleaned him up. Everything was finished. They did some sort of mantra protection so he doesn't ever get a psychic attack. Everybody did some sort of protection so nobody gets a psychic attack in there. And then the wife of the husband and the Christian father, the Chaldean father, literally looked at the address, and because the boy said to find, he even told the boy when to come, what time to come, so that those men are not there and they don't get attacked, and they rescue him in the perfect time. And they went, and they found he was there. He was tied up in the cellar, because he wasn't able to pay something off in some sort of work, that a group of them attacked him, and they were planning on killing him. So they all got him, and this Chaldean boy told me everything. Now he was a few years younger than me, but he told me he was about 2 years younger than me, 2 or 3 years younger than me, but he told me a lot. So these things exist, guys. They very, very much do exist. This is real. Yeah. And there's a lot more experiences and other people that I've met who have experienced this stuff. So I think I'm going to drop this knowledge, drop these experiences, drop the experiences of people that I know in a very short video, okay? So I have a crystal reading to do for a client of mine. I'm so excited. Thank you for purchasing